race fans, welcome to another edition of Ernie D's Enterprises Turn 5 Turnaround. Got Kyle Lee with me here, driver of the 2T. Kyle, thanks for having us here at your race shop, brother.
Hey, no problem, Danny. Thanks for coming.
I tell you what, I've watched you over the years, develop your skills. One of the things that a lot of the race fans don't know is how you got started in racing.
It all pretty much started out as far as dirt track racing for us in quarter midgets. Really started out, I want to say I think I was 6, maybe 7, and I started racing motocross. And my dad kind of thought about it a little bit, I guess, and he's like, wow, this is a little bit too dangerous. So then we got into quarter midgets. We started out with 1 car, and over the years we ended up with 4 when we were finally done with it.
Wow. Wow. Now, if I remember correctly, I was talking to your dad off the camera the other night. He had mentioned he wasn't a fan of the motocross. Didn't like the fact that you didn't have a roll cage around you, and that's why you guys moved into quarter midgets.
Yeah, I mean, it's a different kind of racing. I mean, that was definitely way more unsafe than quarter midgets. Quarter midgets seems like they come a long way, and with the roll cage and everything, they're a pretty safe form of racing.
You had a lot of success in the quarter midget division as well. I noticed you got a banner behind us, and tell the race fans a little bit about that.
Yeah, we got really big into it the last 2 or 3 years. I was in quarter midgets. We won several different USAC national championships, and then there was also QMA. We won a few QMA national championships. We traveled around a lot. We went all the way from Illinois, Ohio, Indiana. We traveled a good ways, pretty much further than what we traveled for this now.
Wow, that's incredible. Now, you have a brother that still races quarter midgets, correct?
Oh yeah, he's just getting started. He's I guess Dad's got him 2 cars now. He runs down in Hagerstown. He's getting better.
That's good, outstanding. And then eventually you moved up into dirt late model as far as running the sportsman's divisions. Your main focus has been Hagerstown Speedway, but you guys have ran at other tracks and had some success at other tracks as well.
Yeah, we weren't really planning on running points this year at Hagerstown, but I don't know, just kind of worked out that way, and we were running pretty good, so I guess we're going to stick with it. We like to travel around, though. It kind of stinks when you're stuck to one track. Like, for instance, there's a big race coming up that we'd like to run in the crate. We're going to have to miss it if we want to run for points.
At Winchester, Hagerstown, majority of tracks, your late model sportsmen run 358s, and that's what you run as well. How much different is that? Because you also been running Walter Nichols' crate late model. How much difference between a 358 and running a 604 crate? How big of a difference, big of a gap that is for you?
I feel like there's a pretty big difference. The biggest difference for me was not being able to control the car so much with the throttle. I mean, our cars, you can steer the car a lot on the gas. The crate, you're kind of like, it seems entry is huge,
right,
opposed to our cars. But it's fun. I mean, it's very competitive racing. It seems like everybody's so even.
Yeah. Looking back, over your career and eventually moving up into dirt late models, is there a particular win that really stands out in your mind, or are they all very special?
It's probably my very first win, because it was at Williams Grove. We ran that year. We got close a few times at Bedford, some at Hagerstown, and we really never expected to win at the Grove for our first race. It just kind of lucked into it. Started up front in the heat race, and we got it done in the feature. That was probably the most memorable win. Who's
been most instrumental in you getting things, going as far as, putting you where you're at today?
Definitely my dad, my uncle. My dad puts a lot of time in on this racing. And of course, my uncle, he pretty much funds it. He's around a good bit too, and he's crew chief. But my dad puts countless hours in on the car. There's no way we'd be able to do it without him.
You just graduated from high school, right?
Yeah.
Where'd you go to school at?
James Buchanan.
And now you're working where? Where are you working full time?
Chambersburg Waste Paper.
Yeah. You like it there?
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah. Were you an athlete in school? Did you play any sports?
Yeah. I started wrestling, I guess it would have been my freshman year in high school. And I stuck with that until I graduated. That's pretty much it as far as participating in things in school.
What do you want out of yourself as far as racing?
As far as racing, as far as racing goes, it's definitely something I enjoy very much. I'd like to continue doing it for as long as I can.
Do you want to move up to super late models?
Yeah, we kind of talked about it a little bit. We're not really certain what we're going to do yet. I mean, I can see it happening sometime in the future. It's pretty much up to my uncle.
Well, race fans, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back here on Earth Race fans, welcome back to Earth Enterprises. Kyle Lee with us. Kyle, we were talking about racing as far as where you're at today. Is there a particular driver that you really want to emulate and watch develop their skills?
I shouldn't say as much as watch develop, but definitely I have learned and developed from watching Greg Satterlee. Even from the time I started racing, he's definitely become one of the toughest drivers in the area. And just watching him last weekend, I learned a lot.
You know, in your all's division at Hagerstown, there are some top competitors. You know, when you go to the track, who are some of the guys that you know you have to beat in order to be on top?
Definitely at Hagerstown. I mean, there's a handful of guys you can pretty much count on every week. You can count on Rodney running up front, Justin, Allen, Kersey, Licklider. I mean, there's so many guys that there's at least 6 or 7 different guys that could win any given night at Hagerstown.
You're currently the point leader in that division. What would it mean to you, not only you, but also your entire race team, to be the points champion and potentially move on and move up to super late models? What would that mean to you to have that championship name attached to the 2T racing?
That'd be a pretty cool deal. If, like you said, if we're actually going to move up, it'd be nice to get something to hang on to once we move up, something that we accomplished. I mean, wins kind of are more common than a points championship. It's a pretty big deal. It'd definitely be a big accomplishment for us.
Out of all the tracks that you've raced at, as far as dirt late models, what is some of the challenges that you run into when you go from a short track like Winchester versus a big track like Hagerstown?
I'd say one of my toughest challenges was Path Valley's a tough one. It's a tough transition from Hagerstown. The reaction speeds got to be a lot quicker, and just the racing style is different. The track's so tight. You kind of gotta push the idea. You can't be so can't give so much room in passing. It's just a different form of racing. You can't get flustered if somebody doors you a little bit.
So Saturday night racing's over. You come back to the shop. Starting on Sunday, what is your all's routine to get ready for the following weekend?
Usually Sunday morning we'll come up, I don't know, 10, 11 o'clock, and wash the car, clean the trailer out, wash the tires, and then as long as everything went smoothly over the weekend, usually Tuesday we'll come up and we'll get most of everything done. Then we'll come up Thursday. But if we crash the car or something, usually it's 3, maybe 4 nights a week.
Wow, you guys are pretty busy then. How many people typically help you out through the week and then going into Saturday?
Probably about 3 or 4 different guys. My Pap, he comes up and helps a lot. Dave Norris comes up and helps. My dad, and Uncle Dougie, me. Mostly, I'd say it's got to be at least 50-60% of it's pretty much all my dad. He does all the tires.
How far do you live from here, from your all's race shop?
From here, I'm about 15 minutes. My dad's about 20.
That's not too bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know this is kind of an odd question, but you know, you're still very young in the sport. Let's say 20, 30 years down the road, you elect to retire. What do you hope people will say about you when you walk away from dirt track racing?
It's kind of a tough question. It's a long ways down the road. I'd like people to remember me as, well, obviously a good driver, but sportsman, somebody that wasn't, definitely don't want to be known as cocky.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm humble. Clean driver for the most part.
Outstanding, outstanding. Please mention some of the sponsors and people that's helped you along the way.
Yeah, there's a ton of people that help us. Bruce Kane with All About Wraps keeps the car looking good. My uncle, Big Doug Timmons, D&D Auto Recycling, Carter Lumber, AFCA Racing Supplies, Who's Retired Mid-Atlantic. I'm sure I'm forgetting a couple.
Palmer Realty.
Palmer Realty. Of course, Walter for letting us run his crate.
Yeah. Outstanding.
I think that's it.
All right, I'm going to ask you.
Oh, I forgot Hyatt.
Oh, yeah, you got
Michael
it.
Hyatt. They've been a big supporter
Yeah.
ever since we even started quarter midgets.
Outstanding. All right, so I'm going to ask you some off-the-wall questions.
Okay.
What do you like to do outside of racing and work?
Outside of racing and work, I like to fish and hunt. I like to get out. I really enjoy fishing, especially trout, springtime.
Favorite TV show or movie?
Favorite TV show or movie? Favorite TV show probably be I don't know, kind of The Walking Dead.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Favorite sport?
Sport? I wrestle, so I have to say wrestling.
Okay. Do you have a favorite football team?
Yeah, I like the Redskins.
Okay, good local team. There's nothing wrong with that. Favorite racetrack?
Racetrack? Definitely Port Royal.
Favorite NASCAR driver?
I was never really too big in NASCAR, but I'd say probably Casey Kane. He's a pretty cool dude. We actually met him one time down at the quarter midget track.
Favorite beverage?
Beverage? Probably Gatorade.
Favorite food?
Favorite food? I guess a big juicy steak.
There's nothing wrong with that. Final thoughts for the race fans. What do you want the people out there to know about Kyle Lee and what you represent?
I guess just hard work pays off. Try to put a lot of time in the car. My dad and uncle always preach. First place you be is in the garage.
Outstanding. Good work ethic. That's all. That's awesome. Kyle, thank you so much. It's been a great interview. Appreciate you being on Turn 5 Turnaround. Race fans, if you see this young man at the Hagerstown Speedway or any racetrack for that matter, cheer him on. He's in the 2T, a rocket chassis, D&D Auto Recycling. You got to cheer for him. He is Kyle Lee. Here on Earnings Enterprises.